Alright, so today we're going to be looking at the Golem RDA by King 2, designed by Raymo to You and Big D Coils from the Resistance crew, the build team that I'm from. Now, obviously, with the two designers, I am going to be extremely biased with this RDA, so I'm basically just going to break it down, show you what it is, what it looks like, and how to build it. Along with that, I'm going to show you how to put some big ass coils in there and just show you a cool little coloring kind of video and wicking, dripping, all that. So to keep this video shorter than it already is, because it's going to be long with all the footage I have, here we go. Let's just go down, look at the Golem. Alright, the Golem RDA by King 2, designed by Big D Coils and Raymo to You. It comes in silver and black. We're going to take a look at the silver one. I'll show you the black one in a second. It comes in one of these velour bags just like the Goons do. Golem. And when I open the bag, I can pull out my RDA. Golem RDA. Engraved with the Golem symbol, same as on the bag. Two huge airflow holes on either side. Whatever happens on this side happens on the other. There's no notch to keep this in front of the coils or anything. This is not that type of RDA. It's actually better off with the airflow that it doesn't have that notch. Protruding 510 pin. Got the serial number on the bottom. I have number 80 here. It says designed by Raymo to You and Big D Coils. Very well machined. This is by the same company that made the KTX, the Warpath, and the first Goon. What else we get in the bag is some extra O-rings, an Allen key, a squonk pin, and extra screws. The drip tip is a Goon style drip tip, so anything that fits on the Goon will fit on the Golem. This is a Trinity glass top drip tip. Looks really good on there with that silver one. But let's just put the regular one back on. It's got that O-ring inside to hold the drip tip. Alright. So once again, you could close down both holes on either side. Whatever happens to one side happens to the other. There is no single coil option on this RDA, I don't think. No, it's just for dual coil. Okay? Unless you wanted to put a single coil in there and keep a little bit of air open on each side. Alright, it is concave on the inside. It is rounded off up there, which is always better for flavor. Okay, there's one O-ring on the top there. Everything fits very good. Everything's very well machined. We will take this AFC ring off and look at the deck. So it's got two O-rings. Never had a problem with leaking with this. And it has 4 screws. And it has kind of a trap system for your leads. Very shiny. Very well machined. Very polished. You can see the side there, how it traps the leads. So what you're going to do is you're going to raise these screws up. You could use a flathead or a Phillips. But essentially you raise the screws up, and that's going to allow for them little metal pieces to also rise up when you flip it over, much like the goon. How with the goon you raise the screws up. You can raise the screws up. And then you flip it over like that, and now the clamps are up, and you're going to be trapping your leads in here. Just like that. Your leads will go in there. Now, I'm going to show you how to install coils in this. What you are going to want to do is make sure that your screws are all the way up to make it a little easier for you to install. So basically what I like to do is I like to take the screwdriver and keep untwisting until I feel it's at the end by the little click that happens. And then I just give it a little quarter turn back down, this way the screw doesn't fall out. And then I could just look at the other screws and put it to the same size as that first screw that I did that to. Alright, so now your clamps are all the way open. Now, what's good about this Golem is, with the goon, where these screws are, at the ends especially, and in between especially, I guess with all the screws, they're kind of in the way with the goon. If you wanted to put a really small build in there, it couldn't get from here to here because the screws are there. And if you wanted to put something really big in, where the leads were from here to here, you couldn't do that either because the screws were there. Because with the goon, you would slip it inside and the screw would be there. So this gives you a little more versatility with the size of coils that you want to put in there. It's just a builder's dream, this RDA. It's just very cool idea so that you could fit a way more versatile amount of coils in here. So let me show you how I install on this. First I'm going to show you the black one. I'm going to show you the build I have in there. I have a fairly simple build in there, something that you would probably put in there if you were vaping. And this is what build I usually vape it with. So here's the black one. It's completely black on the outside. The deck, everything. The 510 isn't painted for conductivity. I have number 3 in the black. Well, it's 103, but it's the third black one ever made. Got a little dirt there, but we'll worry about that later. And the inside, the only thing that's silver are the clamps. Everything else is black. So I have some aliens sitting in there, and you could see they pretty much fall right where them screws are, but I could still put them there because it traps on the sides. And that's what you're going to want to do, is you're going to want to drop your coils in, kind of like a dead rabbit or something, or like the Goon LP, and then bend them over like this so that they're right in front of them air holes there. Alright, and I usually rock this with one air hole open all the way. And these air holes may look big, but they're very deceiving. This air hole, one air hole open, is probably a little less than 2 air holes on the Goon. So I actually really like how it vapes with one air hole all the way open. It was very deceiving when I first looked at it. I was like, wow, them holes are huge, but it's actually perfect with one hole open for me. I actually very much so like the vape I get off of that. Also, something to note is this is also the same size as the Goon, the deck is. So anything that fits on the Goon, like a Goon cap or a Trinity glass cap made for a Goon, is going to fit on the Golem. Okay? So just something to note with this, the KTX top will fit on here. Anything that would fit the Goon will fit this. Okay? So it's another cool little plus. I mean, I like the Golem cap just fine, but if you really like the Goon cap, throw that on here, you know? This way you get the versatility with the deck and the airflow that you like with the cap. But I really suggest you just try the cap for the Golem first. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to install something a little bigger into this guy, into this silver one. A little bit ago I built these half staggered type of pitchfork coils live on my YouTube channel, and they're 5-wrap. They're very big coils. I mean, in comparison to the aliens, let me just show you. In comparison to the aliens, they are much, much, much bigger. But as long as this coil goes from end to end on the Golem posts, it's going to fit in there, because this whole section, you could put your leads anywhere in this whole section here. There's no cutoff here. Wherever you want to put it in here, you can put it. You don't have to worry about the screws, because it traps right there. Alright, so there's a couple tricks with installing with this. The install is not going to be for beginners. It's going to take a couple installs to really get used to it. But once you get used to it, it's a real breeze. Just like the Goon. When the Goon first came out, you know, install was a little tricky at first. Now, you could pretty much slide them in blindfolded after a year using it. Not even a year. I shouldn't even say a year. After a couple times using it, it's easy. Same thing with the Golem. It's going to take you 1 or 2 tries to figure it out, but there's tricks that I could kind of show you with this. So first, you're going to want to put them screws all the way up, like I said. All the screws all the way up. And then you can flip it upside down and get your clamps to the top. Now, installing one coil in these is extremely simple. If you were to do one coil, it's so simple. The second coil is where it gets tricky if you don't know the tricks. Okay, so first let me get my Addy stand here. Let me twist this on there. Okay, so there you go. And I want to take my coils and I want to make sure that I bend the leads on these. So let me get a 3mm bit, because that's what I wrap these around. So I got a 3mm bit because that's what I wrap these coils around. I'm going to take my coil, get this out of the way. I'm going to take my coil right now. It's just wrapped right around the jig. I'm going to take my coil and I'm going to wrap it so that my leads make kind of an L shape, just like that. So one's pointing back and one's pointing down. And then I'm going to get my needle nose pliers. I'm going to take this coil right from behind to the one that's pointed down. I'm going to push this up. So now my leads are on the same plane. Okay, let me do that to the other one. So this is just right after wrapping. Okay. Make the L. Just like that. Take it off. Go behind the coil. Push up just like that. Now I just want to make sure that I cut my leads the correct length. So there's a little trick that I was shown by one of the designers of this RDA, and that's if you were to put your coil like this, and if you were to cut your leads the same at the end of where the 510 goes, that would be a good place to cut it. So if I were to cut it right there, I'd be good. So right now, since this is such a big coil, I'm just going to mark it there, like that. And then I'm going to take it, and I'm going to cut it where I marked it. Put it back on my bit. And do the same thing with the other coil. As long as you're around that, you'll be okay. It doesn't have to be extremely perfect. Just don't cut them too short. You can always cut more. You can't cut less. Or you can't add, I should say. Unless you have a coil stretcher. I don't have a coil stretcher here. Get this coil right at the end of the 510. Just like that. And just like that. Now I got both my coils cut. Okay. I'm going to take my coil, get the RDA. And I want my leads facing the posts. Okay, so the flat part is going to be facing the posts here. Now this first coil is going to go in so easy. Alright, so easy. Just slip it right in the slots. Now, the second coil is going to go in easy too, if you use the first coil to put it in. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this coil and you're going to use the leads of this coil to keep these little clamps up. So I'm just going to push down on my coil. I'm just going to put my finger on top and push down just like that. And it's going to be underneath. And it's going to help me keep them clamps up. And now I can get my other coil. Get it on my bit. Slide it into the one gap. Slide it into the other. Just like that. They're both in. Easy peasy. Now I could just adjust them back and forth. Get them centered. And all I got to do is screw it down. This screwdriver is pretty long for this camera angle. But I'm going to show you that I'm just screwing it down. Gonna get them all pretty snug at first. Not pretty snug, actually loosely. I'm just getting them all down. It's just like a tire and lug screws on a tire. You want to tighten one a little, go on to the next one, tighten the other one. So you tighten that one, go over to this one, tighten this one, go back to that one, tighten that one, this one. We can go over to the other post. Tighten this one. I should probably get a Phillips. And just go back and forth until we're all snugged up. And I know that them coils aren't going anywhere. pretty rough on my RDAs, but I like knowing that I made a good connection, which this RDA does make good connection. It's going to be extremely conductive because of how it clamps them coils down. Now the only thing left to do is get these coils bent down a bit. So I'm going to stick my bit into the one coil and kind of straighten it out and bring it down. Get the other one, bit inside, and bring it down. Now these coils would not go into any other RDA if they were more than 4 wraps. That's kind of the point of me using these coils in this video. Let's make sure the top cap fits. Alright, so one thing I forgot to mention while we were down low is it is 24 millimeters in diameter, so it's going to fit good on your 25 millimeters even. It might even be 24.5. I don't have one of them little measuring thingies. It's 24 millimeter, it's not 25. Other than that, it vapes great, man. Like I said, them holes are very deceiving. They look big, but with that one air hole open, it's perfect. If you want to vape big coils, if you're a builder, I think this is an RDA you need to pick up. Now, is it a good RDA for a beginner? No. Is it a good RDA for somebody that is only a flavor chaser and just wants to put their fuse claptons in? No. But if you're a builder or if you're a cloud chaser, if you go to cloud comps, I imagine this would be a great RDA because I know the Goon's a good RDA and this has really good airflow. I would just imagine that this would be an awesome RDA to comp with. I may have to try it one day, but if you're a builder, I think this is a must-have. Aliens game? If we were playing the Aliens game and I was an alien and I was sent down to steal Grim Green's RDAs and vape gear, would I pick this up off of his desk? Abso-fucking-lutely I would, but I am extremely biased because Big D, my boy. Raymo, my boy. So, I just love how it vapes, man. I just wanted to show you all it and show you how to build it more importantly. Other than that, I have nothing else to say. If you're a builder, just 100% pick it up. And it vapes real nice too. The flavor, it's just right there with the Goon. It's just right there with the Goon. That's all I have to say about it. It looks good. You fit your drip tips on there that you like. You like your Trinity cap. You could put your Trinity caps that fit on the Goon on there. I got beeping going on in the background, but I'm out of here. I'm not going to make this video any longer. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, comment. I hope this was helpful. Check out my other videos, especially in the playlist for build tutorials, and come hang out with me on live on Tuesdays at 10:30 and Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm out. Alright, so today we're going to be looking at the Golem RT. And now I know that all my screws, besides the one,